We're going to do what your governments have been unwilling or unable to do. It's harmless phosphorescence. Hello, everyone. This is Throw Smiley, and the business of this podcast is business. This week I am joined by...
I'm Josh Cece, and I'm the Dutch elm disease of my family tree.
I'm Brian Lesh. I'll tell you who I'd write a letter to that would do something good. Superman.
I'm Alaric Weber, and my first allegiance is to the truth.
And this is...
In that spirit, I must issue a correction. From Supergirl. I swore up and down that I heard the phrase six-dimensional geography.
They were still doing this, huh?
Yes. It wasn't. We did, in fact, hear six-dimensional geometry.
Oh. All right.
Alfax.
Yep.
And this
release the hostages.
Is Harmless Phosphorescence, the podcast where we watch every theatrically released full-length live-action superhero movie ever made. We gather some research into the production and the source material and then tell you about it. This week, we are watching Superman 4.
The greatest hope against the threat of nuclear war is Superman.
I'm going to do what our governments have been unwilling or unable to do. Effective immediately, I'm going to rid our planet of all nuclear weapons.
The greatest threat to Superman is Lex Luthor.
Smarter than I thought. We can make the world safe for war profits.
He's created the ultimate weapon to annihilate the Man of Steel.
You risk worldwide nuclear war for your own personal financial gain.
Nobody wants war. I just want to keep the threat alive.
Dude of Steel, where are you gonna get it?
You know you're a workaholic. Why don't you stop and smell the roses, huh?
Superman 4, Christopher Reeves, Gene Hackman, Jackie Cooper, John Cryer, with Mariel Hemingway and Margot Kidder as Lois Lane. Superman 4, his most important adventure, the quest for peace.
I disagree.
All right.
I didn't know we were ranking them in importance. I thought it was sequential.
All right, Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. Released July 24th in 1987 with a running time of 89 minutes and a budget of $17 million. It made 15.6.
Close, but no cigar.
$15.6
million.
Yeah, everyone's mom went.
11%.
Well, not everyone's apparently.
Right. 11% on Rotten Tomatoes. We don't have any character background this week because there were no new comic characters in this movie.
Lenny?
Lenny, was he from the comics?
I doubt it.
No, he. As far as I can tell, he originated here. Later, he showed up in a few comics.
Huh.
But this is his origin.
All right.
His origin is driving up to the quarry.
Started from the bottom and
Yep.
now
He's at
he's
the quarry.
2 men and a baby.
Yes.
Or what was.
Two men and a little lady. Wait.
Or half of men. Couple.
2.5 men.
2.5 men.
2.5 men.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
I've never seen it.
That which is 133 liters of men.
Yeah, see.
That's a lot.
Is
Is that enough for it to
math in
rain
that show.
men? Welcome to our new podcast. Harmless Word Association.
I just keep... Yeah, okay. In 1983, following the mixed to negative reaction to Superman 3, Reeve and the producers, the Salkins, assumed that the Superman films were done. Reeve was supposed to be in Supergirl, but didn't because he didn't wanna. And 2 years later, Salkin sold the Superman franchise to Golan and Globus of Canon Films.
Canon Films, yeah. And did you notice that credit? It was initiated by Alexander Salkin.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's odd. I've just never seen that. Like, I know he didn't create the Superman universe, so you can't say based on his characters, but based on the movies of, or based on the
that's a like
film
I have to imagine
characters
there was
of?
some sort of lawyer going
Initiated.
It's more just based on the casting decisions that he made.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess.
It's easier just to keep them in the role.
He and his dad just straight up bought the rights to make these movies. And that was like initiated.
We initiated this now, son. So production began in 1986, which were hampered by budget constraints and cutbacks in all departments. You couldn't tell. Canon Films had nearly 30 projects in the work at that time, and Superman 4 received no special consideration. I can get this if we need, but did anyone look into Canon?
Oh, no. We're going to have some more, aren't we? Some like straight up
I don't know if we have any.
Oh.
I jotted down a list of movies that they had made.
Yeah.
They were known for a lot of B action films.
Right. Shot overseas. And they sort of started direct to video.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't a thing before Canon, really.
So the Death Wish sequels, Chuck Norris movies, Delta Force, Invasion USA, was that
Sounds
Chuck
right.
Norris also?
Yeah, it should have been if it wasn't.
Yeah.
But they also they released Breakin' and Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Legend of the White Wolf.
The Ninja trilogy, Enter the Ninja, Revenge of the Ninja, Ninja 3, The Domination.
Yep.
They brought us the first 2 American ninja movies. So
yeah.
they were big into ninjas. Masters of the Universe.
Yes.
Yes.
Surprise. They owned the rights to Spider-Man for a while, and they failed to make a movie.
So they lost.
That's actually, I kind of want to get into Spider-Man's history when we get to Spider-Man 2002, because it was crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, Canon. Yeah. That's
Ain't
wild,
that a
though.
shame?
I didn't know they owned
They
it.
could have made another terrible movie about Spider-Man.
Yeah.
There was a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie called Cyborg,
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I totally remember that.
That's a big guy.
unrelated to DC's Cyborg.
Yeah.
Apparently, they had Captain America rights for a while, and that movie did end up getting made, but went straight to video.
Yeah.
I don't think it was. That was actually in 21st Century Film. So Canon, it was Globus who he left the company eventually, and then I think came back. But he retained the rights to Captain America and got that film actually produced.
Yeah, it's pretty weird looking. The
Right.
Red Skull looks really weird.
Ugh. Yeah.
There was a lot of shadiness going on with the bank that so and so was dealing with. There was money from the company was going towards organized crime, and
Yeah, I mean, cocaine actually funded movies in the 80s. Like, they're like, you'll get, yeah.
Gambling and sex clubs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sex clubs that employed ducks.
probably.
Yep.
Yeah, most likely.
Canon was crazy. And when let's see, John Cryer, who played Luther's nephew Lenny, was taken aside by Christopher Reeve just before releasing, was told it was going to be a terrible film. Although Cryer enjoyed working with Reeve and Hackman, he claimed that Canon ran out of money during the production and ultimately released an unfinished film.
Yeah.
Chris Reeve was quoted as saying Superman 4 was a catastrophe from start to finish.
He has a
Like
story
later.
credit, doesn't he?
He does. He's the one who initiated this. He wanted to get it going because he was very anti-nuclear weapons.
Yeah,
And he was like, I want to make a movie about Superman destroying nuclear weapons.
Yeah, it's a noble, it's a noble idea.
Yeah.
So Richard Donner and Richard Lester were both invited to direct this movie. They both declined.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wes Craven was actually set to direct,
What?
and there was creative differences with Christopher Reeve.
Interesting.
And did that.
Was like, I think he should be a swamp guy.
With the pocket snake.
I don't even remember who ended up directing this.
Oh, we'll get to that. So,
Yeah, I don't either.
but first, before
Somebody
we get,
did.
yeah, someone claims to have directed it. Before we get to that, so there's approximately 45 minutes of the film which was cut. They were deleted following a failed test screening. Nuclear Man, the nuclear man that appears in the film, is the second nuclear man that Luther created. The cut scenes featured the original nuclear man, portrayed by Clive Mantle, engaging Superman in battle outside the Metro Club and being destroyed by the Man of Steel. He was somewhat more inhuman looking and vaguely resembled the Bizarro Superman.
Cool.
Yeah, Luther postulated that this nuclear man was not strong enough and hatches the plan to create the second one. So the screen...
I wonder what he did
Your
with the
notes
first
say
one.
create him within the sun, though.
Within the sun. Yes,
Yeah.
within
That's
the
the
sun.
craziest Lex Luthor plot ever.
Yeah.
I'm going to make another nuclear man
In the
the
sun.
sun.
In the sun this
Yeah.
time.
Get my helicopter.
Yeah.
You know?
How did he kill the first one? That just like smothers him quietly.
Something with real estate. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, go check out this
I bought his
property.
mother's apartment. And I
Look
kicked
at
her
the
out.
sunset. No. Look at the sunset, boy. Look at the sunset.
Exactly. Exactly.
Tell me about the rabbits, Lex.
The screenplay was by Lawrence Connor and Mark Rosenthal, who also wrote The Legend of Billie Jean. Jewel of the Nile, the sequel to Romancing the Stone.
Okay, not quite as good, but yeah.
The In Crowd, Sometimes They Come Back. Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country.
I love that one.
Yes, that's a good movie.
Everyone.
It is. It is. For Love or Money,
I just wanted to come out.
The Beverly Hillbillies, Mercury Rising, Mighty Joe Young, and the 2001 Planet of the Apes.
Ooh, is that the Wahlberg one?
The Wahlberg one. yeah.
Weird. Huh. With
That
its
one was
interesting
weird.
twist at the end and everything.
But that was directed by Burton.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Mr.
I didn't.
There's
Who
some
will we
other
get
Burton
to?
Batman ties in this movie, actually.
It was directed by Sidney J. Furie, whose list is long. It goes back to the 1950s.
When he was a professional wrestler.
Sid Furie.
Wow.
Listen to my words.
A lot of stuff in the 50s, 60s, and early 70s I'm unfamiliar with, starting with ones I've heard of. Because I'm the one that is reading the list. We got Lady Sings the Blues.
He directed that?
Yes.
Wow.
The Jazz Singer.
Wait, wow, really?
Yeah.
Uncredited,
People won
though,
Oscars
who
for
knows?
those movies.
I know. Iron Eagle.
That's a cool movie.
Yeah.
That was partially filmed out here, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Davis Monson.
Louis Gossett.
Yeah, Mr. Junior. The Taking of Beverly Hills, Iron Eagle 2,
Okay.
Ladybugs with Rodney Dangerfield.
Okay. Such a creepy weird. We could do one just on that.
Iron Eagle on the Attack. It gets weirder from there. He did direct The Dependables in 2014. That was his
Yeah.
his most recent hit.
Fury. Damn it, Fury.
It does star, of course, who we've spoken about before, Christopher Reeve, Gene Hackman, Jackie Cooper, Mark McClure as child rapist Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah.
Mark McClure. This is now the fifth appearance
Franchise.
Yeah.
of him playing Jimmy Olsen. I'm
Yep.
sorry. And this actually set a record. He was the first person to play the same comic book character in movies 5 times.
Wow.
And
Probably not again until, God, maybe Wolverine?
he
Or
would
Nick Fury.
he would become tied with Hugh Jackman and Samuel L. Jackson.
What? We both. It's like we
But
know about these things.
that record would not be broken until 2013, broken by Hugh Jackman in The Wolverine.
Nice.
All right.
That was like 26 years.
Yeah. Wow.
He's such a good sport. That's great that they never had to recast.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's good.
That was great.
Okay, so
with a high voice.
some newcomers. We've got John Cryer, who's first. I'm just going to read this because it made me laugh. His first professional acting effort was as David in the Broadway play Torch Song trilogy, replacing Matthew Broderick, whom he replaced because he closely resembled him.
Yeah.
Cryer was later an understudy and replacement for Broderick in Neil Simon's Brighton Beach memoirs. And then at 19, Cryer appeared in the 1984 romantic comedy No Small Affair in the lead role as Charles Cummings after the original production with Matthew Broderick was shut down.
So he stalked Matthew Broderick for a while.
He was basically Matthew Broderick's hand-me-downs for a
His
long
body
time.
man or something.
That's wild.
Yeah. He went on to have small roles in film and television, and he made his breakthrough as Phil Ducky Dempster in the John Hughes scripted film Pretty in Pink.
Duck facts.
Ducky.
Duck.
Do you have some duck facts?
No, just that Ducky was
Yeah.
in Pretty in Pink.
Well, I got one.
Sweet.
I heard that he plays Lex Luthor on Supergirl. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Duck facts.
Is that a duck fact?
John
Ducky
Cryer.
fact.
He's Ducky. What? We're gonna mince words here?
We're expanding the definition of duck.
Yes.
Split hairs, maybe. Yeah.
John Cryer played Lex Luthor in 4 episodes
Uh-huh.
of Supergirl.
I thought so.
And he even gets the chance to shout, "Miss Tessmacher!"
Oh wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool callback. So, and there was a Milo in those episodes as well. But their Milo ended up being Metallo.
Oh, weird.
Ended up becoming Metallo.
Interesting.
So he most recently he didn't get the part of Chandler Bing though on Friends though he did audition, and then he went on to be on 2.5 Men.
And also Two
so
Men
glad
and
he
a
didn't
Baby.
get that role.
It's a really obscure role. You know.
Some other superhero stuff that he's done. He was in 3 episodes of Stan Lee's Stripperella
Nice.
as 3 different characters, it appears like.
We hardly knew ye.
That was a cartoon starring Pamela Anderson.
Yeah.
Another cartoon, he was in 2 episodes of Danny Phantom as the character Freak Show.
Uh-huh.
American Dad, he was in 2 episodes of that. In one playing a desk clerk, and in the second one playing Quacky.
Wow, brings it home.
Also, Felix Faust in 4 episodes of Justice League Action.
Yeah, that was the one I saw.
We also have Stan Wanamaker, who in 1952, at the height of the McCarthy Red Scare period, Wanamaker, who was then acting in the UK, learned that despite his distinguished service in the Army during World War II, his early years as a communist sympathizer could have him blacklisted in Hollywood, so he decided to stay in England for 40 years.
All right. Who is this guy?
Sam Wanamaker.
Yeah, but who?
Oh, who he was the dad, the guy that bought the
the Baron,
paper.
journal. Yes.
Yeah, that guy.
Rupert Murdoch.
David Warfield.
Yes.
David Warfield.
As a director and actor, he worked in both film and television with roles in Spiral Staircase, Private Benjamin, and Baby Boom. And in 1968, he produced and directed the pilot episode of the Western TV series Lancer, as depicted in the 2019 film Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, far out.
Mariel Hemingway played his daughter. She is Ernest Hemingway's granddaughter. She began acting at age 14 with the Golden Globe nominated breakout role in Lipstick. She received Academy and BAFTA Award nominations for her performance as Woody Allen's Lolita in Manhattan.
Oh, yeah.
That role.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. She was also known.
Bless her heart.
Yeah, sure. She got an Oscar nom. She was also in Personal Best, Star 80, as well as the TV series Civil Wars. And then she kind of had some dark times when she was struggled with mental health and kind of dropped out of the business for a long time. The music was by Alexander Courage, who is best known.
Courage and Fury are back together again.
Courage and Fury back together. Alexander Courage, best known for writing the original Star Trek theme.
Wow. Very, very original. Wow.
Yeah, from the 60s show.
I note that you glossed over Mark Pillow.
Oh, yes.
And we also forgot Margot Kidder. I mean, she's in there.
Yeah.
We've done her
back.
before.
But,
Margot Kidder arrived.
She looks
here.
she looks better than she did in the last movie.
She does.
I
I
will
thought so
say.
too.
She looks like she's
less coke,
healthier.
less
Yeah.
cigarettes. Yeah, but
Who's
Mark
the pillow?
Easy to gloss over because Mark Pillow was Nuclear Man, not the voice of Nuclear Man.
No, that was Gene Hackman.
That was Gene Hackman.
Weirdly.
This was Mark Pillow's only movie appearance
That's
ever.
Yeah,
too bad.
He was in a couple of TV show episodes, but yeah,
And I'll bet you made like 25 grand for this. I'll bet you made something so little from Canon.
$100 a day.
Yeah.
You know.
Because obviously this budget went to paying the actors. It did not go to the film.
No, it
in
did
any way.
not.
Well, so there's another interesting character actor, and I could bring him up when we get there. But you know, when he Lex is meeting with the different world leaders, the warmongers from the different countries, the heavier set guy, his name is William Putkins. He immediately struck my eye because he is the crooked cop Eckhart in Batman 1989. Tim Burton's Batman. But then he was Red 6 was his credited character in Star Wars A New Hope.
Oh.
So he was in A New Hope.
Yeah.
He was
Porkins.
Potkins.
Porkins.
Wait.
He was Munson in Flash Gordon, and he was Mr. Eaton in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my mind is blown. I had no idea Porkins was also Eckhart.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, I think that's...
Yeah.
But then in my mind, I was picturing the fat gangster when the Joker reveals himself in that scene. But no Eckhart.
Yeah,
I was
Eckhart,
like,
the
I
crooked
knew it.
cop. Yeah.
Yep.
He played a taxi driver in 2 different Pink Panther movies.
Wow. We've had those pop up. One of the guys is Jim Broadbent. The other guy, he was a British actor. He's appeared in stuff. Look him up, kids.
Jean-Pierre Dubois was the other arms dealer. Jim Broadbent is the actor, and he's been in Time Bandits, Blackadder, Brazil, Eric the Viking, The Avengers. That's the 1998 Ralph Fiennes Uma Thurman movie.
Oh, yes, the British,
not the Marvel Avengers. Moulin Rouge, Gangs of New York. A short thing called he played Batman in a thing called Spider Plant Man. With Rowan Atkinson starring as Spider Plant Man.
Okay.
Nice. He was in The Chronicles of Narnia, Hot Fuzz, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, 2 Harry Potter movies as Horace Slughorn, Professor Horace Slughorn.
Professor Slughorn, okay.
And Archmeister Ambrose in Game of Thrones.
Oh.
I don't remember that
Yeah,
one.
I don't remember that.
And I think my guy was also the voice of Falcor in the Neverending Story 3. It was either
3, not
3.
Not 1.
Not 1. Yeah. Well, they let you know right up front.
He talks a lot.
It's never ending.
There's it's a lot of dog dialogue.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, that thing's still talking.
I'm a luck dragon.
Yeah, we got you.
It's like, no, wait, I have a lot more to say.
Can I tell you a little bit about socialism?
Yeah, he was a communist sympathizer. What does that mean? Like when they get sick, you feel sick too?
Sympathetic communist.
Oh, that communist looks sad.
I've
been sad.
Yeah. Are you guys ready to dive in here?
I want to keep talking about communism with Never-Ending Story, actually.
Sympathizers.
This movie is terrible.
It is. But here we go. Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. After the traditional credits, we open on space.
Oh no, I'm sorry to interrupt you real quick. Did our homeboys with thumbs have anything to say about this?
Yes. So okay, wait. I'm sorry. Yes, I skipped that completely. So I could not find, at least it doesn't exist online, their review of it on the show. But Ebert said, "quote Superman 4: The Quest for Peace is quite surely the worst superhero film I've ever seen."
Okay. Well, we could have told them there's been like 11 of them.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, though.
Okay, Roger.
We'll get to voting.
Yeah.
We'll get to voting.
Okay, I was just curious if Gene Siskel, because
Yeah, so
I bet he would have been mad.
I don't know if they did or not, but it does not exist online.
All right, fair enough.
So after the traditional Superman credits, we open on space.
Okay, I'm sorry. Those credits, the titles were way worse than they ever had been, right?
No, very cheap.
Yeah.
Very
They
cheap.
looked
We could tell they were
bad.
cheap.
Terrible. They didn't
Yeah.
even recycle.
People noticed. The kids noticed.
Yeah,
Okay,
it
yeah.
looked terrible. We open on space. A Russian ship. A cosmonaut is doing some work outside the ship and singing "My Way" in Russian. Suddenly, debris hurls through space at them.
A rogue satellite.
A rogue satellite. Yeah.
A derelict, as it were.
Yes. And he flies off into space. The ship spins wildly. Luckily, Superman shows up and saves the spaceship and rescues the cosmonaut from a grisly death in space.
So I thought the cosmonauts themselves looked pretty cool in their anti-gravity shots and things like that. Yeah. And then Superman flies up and he just looks like the worst cartoon ever. You're looking at these cosmonauts and that looks great. And then they laid Superman over
capes
top.
Won't move like that in space if you don't have thrust or something.
Yeah, and you really shouldn't open and close doors.
Is he farting?
There's a lot of stuff about space that comes up later.
But once again, talking. They can talk to each other.
Also, the talking in space. Well, he's Superman.
And the breathing in space by non-superpowered people.
Do we have a count on Superman's powers up to this point?
I think after 2 we kind of stopped.
There were at least 8 or 9.
There are a few new ones in this. So.
But just to get to that. But I think talking in space, we can add that to the list.
Oh, yeah, definitely. He says bye to the cosmonauts and flies down to Smallville. He lands and changes into Clark without the glasses, goes into an empty barn and uncovers a capsule that brought him to Earth. Removes a luminescent green Kryptonian energy module.
So what was that? Why was that there?
Oh, he just left that last time when he was in there getting other stuff out.
So that's totally different than the green crystal that built the Fortress of Solitude.
That was supposed to be his original ship. That came from Krypton. That just stayed on the farm.
Yeah, this has got like a duffel bag. There's just a bunch of random shit in there. He's like,
he knew that crystal needed to stay.
Yeah, he's like, I'll get that later when
I won't bring it with my other crystals.
I'm not trying to save the world this time.
Yeah, I'll need it for a different world-saving thing.
He's got foresight, man. He's,
logic.
It's like a squirrel hiding them for
winter. And what is this one supposed to do? I was unclear. You can only use it once.
Yeah,
but
it's like Nitro in your racing game.
Yeah. I think the screenwriters are kind of unclear too because they don't really clear up what it does. It's powerful. We know that.
Yeah. It looks like one of those sim icons.
It gets him over the nuclear flu that he has later, right?
Yeah. Laura's voice, his mother.
So she's back. Check that off.
Just says if removed, the ship will grow still or cold and silent.
And the warranty will be void.
Yeah. And the energy module can only be used once. She's unclear about what it can be used for. So he takes it out.
They had so much information about everything.
Okay, can I just really briefly? His mom is here again.
Yeah.
No Brando.
No,
certainly not.
No.
I don't even think this is the original Laura L. Probably.
Is it the same woman?
I'm not sure. I didn't look into it.
Check. Yeah, it's already that bad.
It doesn't matter.
But
it doesn't.
I hope they asked Brando so he could just say no. That's all I'm saying.
So is this a new power? Did he stare at that ship until it was invisible, or it went away?
He took the crystal out, and the ship just sort of disintegrated.
Science.
Okay,
dust. Like a Jedi.
If you caught Chris Reeves' face, he looked like he was doing a Superman stare. But all right, I got you.
That was confusion, I think.
He
was getting weird, just stage direction. Like. Look at it like it's disappearing. He's like, what are you talking about? The crystal or the ship? They're like, just look at it like it's disappearing.
Just look at it.
He's like,
it was one of your Superman intense.
He's like, I can't believe this is the script they wrote.
He looked so confused the entire time. That's,
Yeah.
But then he's just...
he used his X-ray vision to see the truck coming up. I don't know if that's the
realtors coming up.
Yeah, the realtors.
Different staring.
Maybe he was just
staring down at the ship.
The ship.
Yeah, there was no animation or anything, so I'm sure you're right. But it just looked like he was giving it the... So I'm going to stare at this
stink guy.
The stink guy.
The super stink
the
guy.
Super stink guy.
He was checking underneath to see if there were any other crystals that he had left.
Exactly. Just willy-nilly.
Like, oh, shit, maybe I left something.
Crystals wherever.
I just dropped these all over the place.
Zod was sentenced to life forever, but, Kal-El can just leave crystals wherever the hell he wants.
Let's focus on the crystals. I think the movie's getting better already.
Right?
He's the boss's son. All right, sorry. So a real estate deal.
Yeah. So a real estate agent shows up. Another real estate deal.
That Clark knows.
Yeah, his parents. He was friends with his parents.
Mr. Ornsby.
And he's real Texan for Kansas.
Yeah, he certainly is.
Yeah.
Tries to convince him to sell the farm to a mall developer. Clark refuses, and then they play baseball, and the agent leaves.
Yeah.
Well, unless he's selling it to someone who's gonna actually farm there.
Yeah.
Right.
He's like adamant. It's got to be a real farm.
Another Cheerio farmer.
Not a developer.
Right.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Lex Luthor's on the chain gang.
Oh, he purposely misses the pitch
right.
from Ornsby.
The baseball.
The baseball. And then when he when Ormsby drives away, he picks up the baseball and hits it into space.
Into space.
Like, take
hopefully it doesn't come down. And
right.
He's like, if I'd actually hit it, I would have killed this real estate agent.
And did he kick the football into space in the first Superman?
No, I think he just kicked it far.
Just threw it over a mountain.
He's just kicking balls into space.
He wasn't super yet. He was pretty good.
He's ridding the Earth of the Earth's balls.
Yeah, man, he
One
is.
at a time.
He is one at a time.
You can't be trusted with your balls.
Neither can you, Superman.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Meanwhile, Lex Luthor's on the chain gang at the quarry, down at the quarry.
This is very vague quarry.
The guards give him some guff for whistling, I don't know, Shakespeare.
Yeah, and he had a little garden that he had made because, it had a rock.
Wasn't it Mozart?
Yeah,
He's whistling.
obviously you don't whistle Shakespeare.
Yeah, but he makes this whole point about like art or something,
or stopping to smell the roses, the beauty all around.
He says he has plans to recreate life itself.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and calls himself a genius yet again, which that's expected,
that's
but
his
it
thing.
comes right out.
Yeah. It's then a hot rod arrives playing the biggest hits of 1987.
Well, was it a hot rod or was it like
He called it
a Continental? Or?
He called it the Sense Around 100.
Well, that was his sound system.
Are you sure it wasn't the whole car?
I thought it was the sound system.
Okay.
But it didn't look like a hot rod. It looked like a sedan.
Yeah.
A convertible,
a
big Lincoln. I don't know if those were.
And the surround system was like some Victrola.
Yeah, the horn speakers coming out of the sides of the car directed into the cabin of the car.
I assumed that it was Lex's car. While he was in prison, Lenny was driving Lex's car, and he jazzed it up or whatever you would call
pimped it out.
That. Yeah,
Lenny's name was painted on the side.
Yeah.
Oh, so
it was the Lenny mobile.
Custom job.
Lenny Luthor arrives.
Yeah.
Blasting the devil's music. A whole lot of shaking going on.
All right, so there's like 7 convicts at the quarry, and there's these 2 cops.
Guards.
Are they guards?
I mean, they're dressed as cops.
They're supposed to be guards, but they look like dressed as beat cops. Like they have those hats. But anyway.
So he tricks the guards into getting into his car. Lenny does. By just saying, get in.
Right.
The sound system is awesome. Get in.
And they have to put on headphones, even though they're all those
Victrola speakers.
Yeah.
Did they put on headphones?
When they crawl out of the rubble, they've both got like Walkman size headphones on.
Oh, weird. Wow.
Yeah.
That must have been one of the 45 minutes they cut explaining that.
Wow.
Right. Maybe there was a scene of them jamming out for a while.
45 minutes of it.
Yeah.
Boom. And that's what went wrong with this movie. They should have kept that
He
in.
who's sure all that glitters.
So the car, he sends the car flying into the quarry through some sort of mechanism.
Remote control.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no water in this car.
Yeah. But it like catches air. It's like it springs up into the air at a certain point.
Yeah.
We
a
don't
Dukes
see
of
it.
Hazzard
We don't
thing.
see it crash. We see it fly through the air and then cut.
Right. Too expensive for an explosion.
Yeah.
You see the smoke,
then we see this. Yeah, we see an explosion come up.
but that's cheap.
Yeah. But then
And they crawl.
the cops crawl out with like a cartoon bomb black on their face. And that's how Lex Luthor breaks out of prison.
What does Lenny ask him? Like, what's on your awesome mind?
And what does he say?
He's like, well, the Dutch elm disease of the Luthor family tree.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, what's been on my awesome mind? And then they have like a Pinky in the Brain moment where they're both like, kill Superman. That's what we're going to do tonight.
Superman returns to Metropolis, where he stops a runaway subway train carrying Lois Lane.
Okay. Sorry, time out. All right. So, first of all, French and Paris is back in play. Now, obviously, her mind was erased, so she doesn't remember going to Paris. But I guess you can't have a superhero movie in the 80s without involving the French in one way or another.
Well, she was wanting to go to Paris for the nuclear summit that was happening there.
Right.
Or something.
Yeah, she was brushing up on her French.
But still, we've got her doing French and.
So the engineer on the subway just comically and then passes out
For like what? Yeah, what happened?
Yeah.
To him?
I don't think it was a heart attack.
They never said. I thought he died of a heart attack, but it turns out he just passed out.
It's like I'm getting Logie.
And we know that
He
Clark
was just drunk.
Yeah, probably. And we know that Clark is down in the subway station, so I get that. But
he misses the train. Yeah.
But once again, just Lois starts screaming help.
Yes.
She's the only person to scream help
inside the subway car.
in a subway car.
Well,
full of people also about to die.
Okay, no. But in her defense, every time she screams help, Superman comes.
It's true.
It's like a Pavlovian response, and
Right.
Not with her, but with Superman.
With
and to,
Superman.
and to some extent her, because she just goes help,
And then he springs into
and he's
action.
just like
the
she
subway train was
swoops in.
already running amok.
Yeah.
But he gets going when she says help.
So
Always.
she screams, "Help! Somebody get help!"
Right.
If there were no Superman, if Superman were not around, Lois Lane would look like a damn fool.
Yeah, everyone would be mad at her
Well, but
in their
she's Lois
final
Lane,
moments.
and everybody should just be like, "Oh,
right.
Superman's
Oh, yeah,
coming.
no.
Yeah.
We're going to be in the paper tomorrow."
the guy-
Jump off the subway and go get
I'll
some
go
help,
get help, yeah.
bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
See you later.
Zeppelin rule.
Yeah, everybody just yelling at each other on the subway would be what would actually be happening.
Yeah, you'd get punched. You're like, we're all about to die.
Right.
Shut up with your help
Somebody
me,
shut that lady
Superman.
up. Yeah.
Somebody get help.
Yeah, somebody.
You
we
go
should
get
do
help,
that.
lady.
Yeah, exactly.
After returning to the Daily Planet, Clark learns that the company's gone bankrupt and been taken over by David Warfield.
I'm sorry. We did see our first. We saw Superman's first costume change in a phone booth.
Hey everyone, Thoreau from Harmless Phosphorescence here with a message for you. Yes, you listening to me talk. Did you know that the Harmless Entertainment Network has a Patreon? That's right, you can join in and get extra fun like a Star Wars Harmless Phosphorescence miniseries, a patron-only Q&A roundtable episode. We have great bonus episodes of audio dramas like Attention Hellmart Shoppers in 1994. But not only that, if we reach our next patron goal, we'll do a monthly bonus Harmless Phosphorescence about a patron-chosen non-superhero movie. Plus, there are great new shows on the way, and if you're a patron, you'll get to hear them first. Head over to patreon.com/harmless entertainment today, and for the price of a cup of coffee, you too can join our super awesome superhero club. Now, back to the show.
Yeah, they did the phone booth bit.
Finally.
Finally.
Yeah.
It took 4 movies.
Another. I don't know if this was on your list, but we have Lois trying to get Superman's attention.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
After
jumped
the
over it,
subway
so I
thing.
let it. But yeah.
Yeah.
It's me, Superman.
Again. So, okay. So,
After he says public transport's safe.
yeah. So this, okay. I'll bring this up more during the scene where he takes Lois flying again. But,
Yeah.
Mine song.
fucks
the
with her head
reprise.
again.
this is some
Again.
abusive bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next level.
Just ignoring her.
Yeah, completely ignoring Lois.
But so he stops the train by short circuiting the third rail,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
and that slows down the train.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, then he
Yeah.
returns to the Daily Planet and learns that the company has gone bankrupt and been taken over by David Warfield, a tabloid tycoon, and his daughter Lacey.
Okay, so the entire staff of the planet is standing up. Warfield and Lacey are standing up. Jimmy, Lois, Clark, and Perry are sitting, and it's a ginormous board table. Like everyone could be sitting.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
No,
a strange setup.
Yeah, why
Like,
did they-
Jimmy gets to sit?
I'm sure a lot of those reporters like, what the fuck is Olsen doing?
Right, exactly. Decisions get made without Jimmy Olsen all the time. So bizarre. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's a tabloid, and you saw that paper that he held up.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the nuclear arms race or whatever, but just a lady in a bikini.
Yeah.
Half of the page. It's like nukes are bad.
And also this. Warfield cancels Lois's trip to Paris, tells them they're going to be running sensational, fear-mongering headlines.
Sweet.
Yeah, all Jonah Jameson.
Yeah. Clark's concerned and has words with Lacey. She tells Lois she thinks Clark is cute.
Yeah.
Lois calls Clark the oldest living Boy Scout.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is she? Is he though?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure
If
there's
they
some
were
old
total
guy-
pricks.
Right. Baden Powell would
Yeah,
like a word.
exactly. So Lois doesn't think that Clark will be attracted to somebody like Lacey.
Yeah.
And Lacey, Lacey says, "All men like me. I'm very, very rich."
Yeah, that's
Which
cute.
okay, so Mariel Hemingway was actually, I think, the best part of this movie. She was pretty awesome.
Yeah,
She was really funny.
She played
Yeah.
her role well, as unnecessary as it was.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. The president addresses the nation then, telling
So
them,
somber.
right?
Nothing has happened though.
And recall that the president was Robert Beatty, tanker captain from Superman 3.
Yeah.
Oh,
And this, was he?
oh my God.
He's
They
gone.
found us.
I don't know how, but they found us, Marty.
My dogs, they're just out there.
All right, so
They'll get you.
It occurred to me later on, and I never looked into it. Was he the guy that was the librarian, police guy on Seinfeld?
oh, was he?
I don't know.
Yeah, I know the character. No, that was what's his name? He was in Boogie Nights and he was in Magnolia.
Yeah. That
Philip
guy.
Baker Hall.
Okay, I am not
That
correct.
took time.
So he tells them they're starting a new arms race with the Soviet Union.
Yeah, he's just like totally bummed and depressed. It's just an arms race. Like,
He's like, this is some bullshit.
It's like, I'm really sorry, man. This is what we're gonna do. Eisenhower didn't give his speech in this world.
Sorry. I'm gonna tell everybody I'm not going to just do this with diplomacy and like behind the scenes. I'm telling you.
David Warfield is confused as to why there are no air travel expenditures for Clark,
Yes.
Yeah,
who claims that like it makes him
airsick.
airsick or something.
Airsick. Yeah.
So he never leaves.
Yeah.
He doesn't like to fly.
No,
Yeah.
he doesn't. We cut to a classroom where a teacher tries to comfort the children.
Yeah. So she's like, she's like, so what would we do about this problem? So abstract. Like, okay, well, I don't know. How many missiles are we talking here? Teach. Like,
I actually will be able to tell you how many missiles later. I did some research.
So she just drops this on the kids. Like, so what are you going to do about nuclear proliferation?
Like, oh shit, man, I don't know.
But then
It's a bummer. Yeah, but one boy's got an idea.
Jeremy
Spoken.
That's not what that song is about.
No,
right?
it's not.
Yeah,
But this kid's name is Jeremy, and he's fucking pissed.
Hey, and he changes the world.
He does. He says he's going to write to Superman.
No, defensively. So first of all, they're like, he's an idiot. So I guess normally Jeremy's just a bummer. But
Well,
then
he says it's so weird. It's
Yeah.
such a weird, jarring moment.
He's
Just
so
like-
angry.
That's why I couldn't. I had to like watch it again. I was like, what did this kid just say?
yeah,
Why is he talking
he's like a
that?
40-year-old iron worker that's just had too much.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to write to Superman.
I got some ideas already.
He just winds
I'm
up
gonna
coming
tell him
off
what
like a little old prospector. You
Yeah.
know? And they're like, oh,
Yeah.
he's just crazy.
Yeah, Jeremy. And he's looking out the window,
Yeah, no, he refuses to take part in the conversation.
but he's totally engaged.
like-
he turns around. It's like,
He's got a good point though. You know, he's like,
Yeah.
Superman could fix all of this
Right,
shit.
why
you
doesn't
guys.
he do
Well,
that?
no. When
Yeah.
it goes to him, it's like he's running his hands down the chalkboard. He's like, I'll get you, Superman, and I'll only charge you $12,000.
Robert Shaw. Yeah, that's exactly it. He should have been snacking on an orange or something.
So meanwhile, at the Superman exhibit of a museum, Lex and Lenny steal a strand of Superman's hair in broad daylight.
Yeah, broad daylight, smashing the glass.
About 30 seconds after the tour lady says, "Oh, we're almost closed."
Right, and they're probably still in the room, that tour group.
Right? Yeah, they're just down the hall.
The criminal genius didn't bring a glass cutter.
So
No,
it
he
turned
deafened everybody or something.
Something like that.
it turns out that Superman has donated a single hair
Yep.
from his head to
really long.
to this museum.
Yeah, it is. When has his hair ever been that long?
When he was in hair.
That's
There's-
not a hair from his head.
Oh, Jesus.
It's
a back hair.
pubes. Oh, a back hair.
Well, that's less bad.
Yeah, I know.
The hair is suspending 1,000-pound weight.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Lex Luthor comes along with a simple pair of bolt cutters
Yeah.
and manages to snip the super hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the okay,
After
so
a
he
smash
he
and
snips
grab.
the bottom weight off, and then the top weight we cut, and he's snipping it with a single hand with the bolt cutter.
The hair should have been indestructible.
Yeah,
it really should have been.
Right.
Barring kryptonite bolt cutters.
Right.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yes.
How does Superman cut his hair?
Yeah.
I'm so confused.
Wait, yeah. If it is indestructible,
How does he shave?
How
does this work?
I've actually
Freaking
seen
me
this. I believe in one of the cartoons. Clark shaved by using his laser vision
In the mirror?
In the mirror. Yeah.
you're shitting me.
Righteous. I mean, if you don't feel burns, I would just, you could just laser all of your hair away.
The things they have to come up with to make this idiot just some kind of normal, right?
The Clark is like, I am super smooth.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
How do you develop that skill? By burning the hell out of yourself?
that's a good
burning
point.
the house down?
Oh my God,
He misses his face and just burns the house down. He's got like a shield behind him. Let's just talk about his hygiene habits for a second here.
Well, and can you
Took a
imagine
while to get
as
good
he's
at it.
developing this in puberty?
Yeah. His parents are trying to figure this out for
Was
him.
Kal-El circumcised? Did we notice that in any of the?
Ooh.
We did see
did.
gratuitous baby penis twice in
Yeah.
2 of these Superman
I
movies.
bet that was done with lasers.
You know what?
Well, that was
I will
probably done
say,
to be fair.
I have a good thing to say about this movie.
Okay. Whoa. Okay.
No baby penis.
Yeah, there's
Hey.
yeah.
I found the
We
one
always
positive
have that.
thing about Superman 4, Quest for Peace. I think my work here is done.
But so is Lex Luthor ahead of the game on DNA? And like I don't know, 1987.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's
yeah.
pretty. That was pre OJ, so no one was talking about it.
Well, right, yeah, I watch a lot of the forensic shows and shit. It was around, but it was not around, So that's
He was tight with John Hammond,
yeah, yeah, I guess exactly.
We
Totally.
got a lab in Costa Rica.
Lex ponders what he could do with Superman's DNA, and Lenny's response is, "You could make a flying toupee."
Because you're bald,
But he's not.
but he's not. And again, he chooses the wig that makes him look like he's balding.
Yeah. The way.
Yeah.
It's got to be a tough one to put on because there's hair in the front, but then there's a patch in the back that's missing.
Back in Metropolis, Lacey tries to seduce
Fucking
Clark,
genius.
telling him they should do a Metropolis After Dark column.
Yeah, exactly. Clark on the town.
She's all posing on her desk.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Shameless.
I know. She's like, I was thinking about something. And this is how I think.
She suggests that he used contacts.
Yeah, he says they make his eyes itch.
She starts to take his glasses off.
Starts to take his glasses
Yeah,
off.
and it's like Gotham City face blindness. Like you cannot even glimpse. You will immediately know.
No. Lois enters with a letter from Jeremy for Superman.
Okay, that got to Clark Kent
Yeah.
somehow. Like, I don't know. Just
Yeah.
the odds of that. Like, yeah.
Wherein he pleads with Superman to get rid of the nuclear weapons. Lacey brings the boy to Metropolis and runs a headline that Superman tells the boy to drop dead.
Because the boy's statement at the press conference with David Warfield was, "I just wish Superman had said yes."
Yeah, but he
Calling
said
him out.
nothing. He didn't say no. He said nothing.
He certainly didn't tell him to drop dead.
No.
Right.
No,
He was
that-
pondering it. In fact, it put him in quite a quandary.
It did.
So much so that it was necessary to mess with Lois's reality again, just so he could vent.
Is it libel when it's in print?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. You think that quote was taken out of context?
Jeremy spoke in court today.
Clark is conflicted about how much Superman should intervene, and he travels to the Fortress of Solitude to seek advice from the spirits of his Kryptonian ancestors.
Yeah, so rando Krypton.
Yeah.
Someone, and she said Krypton again.
His video elders.
He did. She
Inexpensive.
What the hell?
did.
Do you have it?
What
Oh,
was
I
that?
thought you had the sound clip of the,
Oh.
you know how, I'm sorry, the Kryptonian like floating head, he said, what is it? Betrayed. He kept repeating it. It wasn't an echo effect.
Oh my God. No, but that's
when
gonna
they
be
were
my new
recording the
ringtone.
crystals or however they did that during the recording, so he's like, betrayed.
It was just good mic technique.
I do have the quote.
How many?
He's well, 5 in the end. But if you teach the earth to put their faith in any one man, even yourself, you're teaching them to be betrayed. 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 Betrayed.
What does that even mean, though? What does that mean? How is that good advice?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
No, they tell him go to a different world where they don't have wars.
Yeah, they tell him to just bone out.
Right.
Screw these guys. Clark, get the hell out of here.
They're too primitive. Go somewhere where they're over war.
It's a big universe.
Jesus. Well, thanks for telling me. Rando floating head.
Right. Back in Metropolis, Clark stands up Lois, who shows up at his apartment. He's in a funk and tells her he needs some fresh air. They go out on his rooftop and they just jump off.
He pushes her off.
He pushes her off. Yeah.
He walks her off. It's less of a push and more of a leading. But yeah,
But he changes without her noticing.
She plummets.
That patented.
Or no, when he's flying down.
That's like superpower number 4, though.
Right.
But there's that patented
Changing clothes in the air.
Superman, like gravity is real slow in these movies.
Right. There's that.
Yeah. Well, and you can hear it in the background already. Bum 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 bum. Ba-da-dum. It's just like, fuck, man, again.
They do it again. They do the flying with the fingertips again.
And again, we see that Superman is a super dick because he can't just tell her that he's Superman without making her think she's going to die.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, he's not.
Yeah, and this was all for him to vent. To talk about how there's a lot of pressure on me. Like, not all the journeys in the world.
I'm not
real
keeping
bad at
track,
work.
but he's only had sex once, and it was with one woman. It was Lois, and he's still saving her in the subway. Dude's got some serious issues.
Did Lana die?
Yeah, right.
Because she moved to Metropolis and had a job
Weren't they
at the
going to
Daily
get
Planet.
married or something?
Or at least date a little while.
Yeah, they had a thing happening.
I think somebody made Lana disappear.
So maybe he's just got a family at home, and he is just spending his
Did he only have
days
sex once?
chasing Lana.
Did we decide he had sex with Lorelai, or we weren't sure?
I mean, it wasn't implied in the movie, so probably not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was kind of implied he maybe got a.
Kind of implied. Maybe they just made out.
All right,
yeah, we were never.
Yeah.
Okay,
But,
yeah,
100%.
not a lot.
But
There's
okay,
not a
so
lot on
yeah,
this
they
dance
fly
card.
around, and when they come back, she tells him she remembers everything.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
but he also drops her again.
Yeah, purposely.
Right.
Like drops
For
her
a
on.
long
As a
time.
gag.
Drops her on. Yes, as a gag, as a joke.
A goof.
He says, "Ready? There you go. Bye bye."
And she's like, "Oh my god, I'm going to die."
But see, at least this time, they demonstrate some actual physics because she doesn't just plummet straight down. She actually maintains some forward momentum.
Yes.
So
Who took canon
So
films?
I feel like that was not necessarily because they were showing it correctly. I think that was a budgetary constraint, made it more realistic.
Sure.
And in
my
the
gosh.
other movies, it was more of a stylistic choice to make it look like she is plummeting to her death.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I didn't mind because you're right. It looked more realistic
It did.
when she fell this time.
Yeah.
Science
animation.
Science was not their top concern.
Yeah.
No.
They're like, we paid for one roll of film in the air.
But again, why does Lois get to or have to fly in that manner
Well, okay,
compared to everyone else?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Are you jealous?
I guess I am.
I want to fly.
I feel like Ethan
with
in
Superman,
a
though. That's
football
true.
helmet.
So okay, no. So they so they do that. He wipes her mind again after she says
Yeah.
she remembers everything.
Another amnesia kiss.
Yeah.
Fucked up.
And like a little semi-trance. You're so fucked up. So messed up.
And then he turns back into Clark, and they go on the date.
They
I
go on the
assume-
date as if nothing had happened, but she's like, why am I out here?
I assume that didn't work and that she is a double agent. She is now playing Clark because she knows.
She's a French
She's
spy.
like, I know. He's just going to keep trying to wipe my mind. That's
Yeah.
clearly not one of Superman's powers. I don't know why he keeps trying that. Read a
Yeah.
fucking comic book.
And as we've said, Margot Kidder kind of lost it. She had a mental break in her last, years.
But-
it's just like,
Yeah.
maybe it was Superman's fault.
Right.
All of this mind
really-
wiping.
Yeah, and changing time.
Yeah. Wow.
Turning time backwards, mind wiping,
So
dropping you from large heights.
back in front of the United Nations, Jimmy Olsen and Jeremy are doing a photo shoot. Superman lands and takes Jeremy to the UN, where, at a meeting of the United Nations General Assembly, he announces to the assembly that he will rid the planet of nuclear weapons.
Yeah, he walks in ceremonies.
He freaking kidnaps that child.
He's like,
And also, Jimmy Olsen and this kid.
right.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about
No,
that.
yeah, this kid is just out there with no one but Jimmy Olsen. Then Superman shows up and takes him somewhere else. Like, where are this kid's parents?
Because he wrote a letter that happened to get somewhere. Like,
right?
why did he sell it?
They just stuck him on a train.
Well,
Yeah.
His parents are just chilling at home.
and right now,
Make us rich, Jeremy.
Oh, right. Because did they say where he was?
everybody in
No.
Metropolis thinks that Superman's a dick because he said no, and then he just kidnaps this kid.
Right.
Yeah. And shows up,
and then
takes him to
walks
the UN.
in all ceremoniously, sort of like they did in the Zack Snyder ones.
Yeah.
But and it's this goofy United Nations, sort of like the Batman one. Just everyone done up in their not costumes. That's insulting. But not everybody wears their native garb to every session of the United Nations.
Like the German guy was in lederhosen.
Right. Yeah, the Swahili tribal. Yeah, they wear suits and business.
Right.
No subtlety at all in their UN.
And another unilateral decision by Superman, like we saw in the Mole Men.
Yeah, exactly. And everyone just cooperates.
Yeah,
they just start firing their weapons into space for him.
And he
Right,
starts
as
saying,
if they had grown on
saying
their
though
own.
that like I've decided.
Yeah.
I have decided.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Like,
You can't be trusted.
whoa.
The UN assembly seems stoked about it, but it wasn't clear to me that they were firing their missiles. I thought they were just doing testing still, and Superman is grabbing the missiles.
Oh, see, I thought they were purposefully
so
firing
that
them
he
into
could,
space
because
so
he had that
could.
giant net. But you make a
did
good
you get the
point.
giant
No, you make a
net?
good point, because after that scene, there are still missiles later on.
Yeah,
That's how he, Lex makes nuclear. So it's
they shouldn't need to launch the missiles for him to catch. He should be able to just pick them up off the ground.
right.
Well, yeah, but okay.
Well, and launching,
Well,
but
so-
also
that custom net-
initiates
It's a waste
their-
of fuel.
Well, I mean, and also it
Right.
runs the risk of misfire on
yeah.
the ground,
Accidentally
or
detonating.
so-
having all of them in the air at the same time, maybe possibly causing a thermonuclear war.
Right.
Because are the Russians in the UN at this point?
It seems like it.
This
That's
is
a
different-
Russian
this
space.
is it's true. This is like post
Yeah.
Superman 3 world. So
Well, yeah. When,
Well, they've always acted like
Yeah.
we and the Russians are great friends. I don't know until
Because
in
of
the
Superman.
Superman movies, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay, so So how is he going to get all of the nuclear weapons? Because I'm sure there's a bunch underground in submarines.
how do you
like-
catch more than one fish though?
a net.
A net.
Yeah, and he got a big ass net from somewhere.
He probably
Yeah.
made it,
Military
you know.
surplus.
He took a net weaving class, I'm
Right.
sure, at some point.
Well, has anybody been to the Titan Missile Museum?
Yes.
Down in Great, they're not small nuclear weapons. They're fairly tall. Especially then.
Yeah,
so
seriously.
so then put that perspective of there's like 200 of them in this net.
In this net. Okay, and so which led me to look up. In 1987, there existed in the world somewhere in the neighborhood of 70,000 nuclear warheads. That was kind of the peak
Wow.
of nuclear proliferation. Mm-hmm. He didn't even get close.
No.
Yeah.
Somebody's hiding their nukes.
Is it China?
He's like, I thought you had 4. I have 3.
India, I'm looking at you.
What's he gonna do if somebody launches one?
What is he going to do?
Like,
He's going to catch it and put it in the net, I guess.
Like, is he just gonna hang out and do that forever? I mean,
Throw it in
obviously
the
that's what
sun,
Superman
Throw it in the
does.
sun.
That's what he keeps doing.
Yeah.
as long as Lois tells him to.
There are so many loopholes to his plan of like, I'm just going to show up at the UN. I'm going to tell him no more
Right.
nuclear weapons.
But it was like when he was in Silsby with Benson and his crew. He just had them throw them all on the ground.
Yeah, like you can't be trusted.
All
Like,
the-
I want you
guns
to
were just-
stomp on him. Stomp on him.
yeah, this is not the
They were
first time he
just in
said
a-
you can't be trusted with weapons.
Yeah, it's true. True. It's very much
But
a
yet
Superman
again, it's just like throw
trope.
them down.
Yeah.
Put them in a pile.
So he collects them in the net and he throws them all into the sun, which is just right there.
Right there.
It's just right,
It's just right there.
next to Earth.
Yeah.
His powers are. He gets his powers from the sun, so maybe he's out of the atmosphere. He gets a lot of power, and he flies super fast.
No, he
only
moves
to
the
the
moon
sun.
later.
It took
Yeah,
30,
it's also
Well,
it took 15 seconds for those missiles to fall into the sun. It takes 8 minutes for light to get from the sun.
he can
Right.
throw
See?
that hard.
Yeah.
well, okay, so no, but if you threw them
I'm a
faster than the
Superman
speed of
apologist.
light,
Then we wouldn't have seen it.
then Yeah.
There's a lot of space issues in this
There's
movie.
a lot of space issues.
Yeah.
For a
gravity.
movie with this
All
small
of these movies.
they
Superman
should
movies.
not have made this movie go into space with the budget they had.
No.
Yeah, this should have
They
been a
should have
bottle
stayed
episode
right
of
out of
Superman.
Yeah.
Superman
Man
and
should
Lex
have been
Luthor in a trailer.
In fact, there is no Superman. It's just a Clark Kent movie.
they live in a co-op building. Lex is hiking the rent.
They're both in a single jail cell.
Back in Metropolis, Lex and Lenny meet with a group of arms dealers. They hatch a plan to create a nuclear man by attaching a piece of Superman's genetic matrix to a U.S. nuclear missile.
Yeah, that protoplasm that he grew.
Yes.
Okay.
And then put clothes in there so because you can grow clothes.
Science, man.
With an emblem on them and everything.
He did say to the arms dealers and the Mad Russian that he was trying to create from this genetics to Superman's first nightmare, a nuclear man.
That was his Superman's first nightmare.
That's why he kicks that bassinet.
Is that comic book canon there?
Yeah, his nightmare.
We reach back into the annals and
Well, if
see.
you read his diary.
I don't remember if they dropped the phrase nuclear man later, but
Yeah, I
at
don't
this
think
point
so.
they did.
Gotcha.
Okay. After the missile is test launched, Superman intercepts it and throws it into the sun.
Oh, hey, I'm sorry. Real quick. The arms dealers ask Lex what's in it for him, and he's asking for a small commission, an appropriate number with a lot of zeros behind it. And he holds up 6 fingers.
Which is like $1 million.
Well, and he even did a sort of a jowl shake like he was doing a Nixon.
Yeah, he did. He did do that.
But yeah, like at most $9 million.
9 million, yes.
That's the most.
Lex is shrewd. I think he's going for an appropriate number, 9,
Right.
with 6 zeros behind it.
Yeah.
$9 million.
You guys got all of that from the 3 fingers.
Well, yeah, because he said appropriate amount of zeros and holds up 6 fingers, 6
It's
zeros.
got to be $9 million.
Yeah.
I mean, I
at the
follow the
most.
logic.
At
I just
most.
didn't go there when I was like,
Yeah, I didn't either. But
trying
yeah.
not to be brain
At
dead
the
at this
most.
point. I was like slapping myself
So-
in the face.
Yeah, I noticed the little Nixon thing, but I didn't ask why the hell he was doing that.
So after the missile is launched, he throws it into Superman throws it into the sun, and a glowing ball of energy bursts forth, which becomes a fetus, and then develops
yeah,
into
embryonic though.
a clothed adult man
Clothed.
with fabulous hair and nails.
The nails are wild.
This
But
cat
yeah.
has claws.
Yeah, a full embryo, then fetus, then clothed man.
Before we
You know
go any
babies come out
further,
in scuba
this
suits.
movie has been edited to remove a previous incarnation of a nuclear man.
This
Right.
is the second nuclear man.
So
as
we
per
have
the
already missed
screenplay.
a lot of stuff that was filmed for there to be 2 of these characters.
Yes.
Right.
Which leads to a lot of confusion and nonsense.
No, because they keep all the aerobics and gym scenes in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So meanwhile, Clark and Lacey are working out at a health club where Clark gets bullied by a trainer.
Yeah.
Lacey suggests that she and Clark get together with Lois and Superman for high tea.
Okay, but we have another little Superman checklist. He goes back, no pain, no gain. But like he goes back for another little petty revenge.
He's so
Goes back
petty.
to bully the bully.
Yeah, bully the bully. Throws the like.
Not what a Boy
Barbell on
Scout
him.
does. Damn
No.
it, Superman.
No, it's called the high road. You literally fly.
So this nuclear man makes his way back to Earth to find his father, Lex.
And he knows to go to Lex's place.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because
The homing beacon.
yeah.
Yeah, he escaped from prison, but he's probably in his apartment.
That's where I'd go.
Yeah.
It was probably in his clothes or something. It's Lex. It's science.
Right.
Nuclear man intimidates Lenny and tells Lex that he is the father now. But then Lex demonstrates that while his creation is powerful, he will deactivate without exposure to sunlight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Lex also lit his cigar on
yeah. That's an impressive
nuclear man's glowing hand.
his fingernail, just like
His
Selena's in
fingernails, yeah.
Supergirl.
Yeah, no, they're crazy fingernails.
Executives were like, "That's a cool trick. Imagine if you can do that.
Back at
Let's
Lo-
have the super people do that." No, but wait, doesn't he knock down the Great Wall of China? Isn't that another?
That's coming up. That's coming up.
All right,
Coming
I'm
up.
sorry.
Back at Lois's apartment, she and Lacey are getting ready for their double date with Clark and Superman.
Yes.
Will it go well?
It's a three.
can this
it,
go wrong?
It becomes a Three's Company episode.
Exactly.
That is
Clark-
exactly
not how
it.
you have a threesome. That's all I have to say.
Kenneth toilet hole.
Lacey asks Lois how she looks, and Lois says illegal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like a hooker.
basically just called her a prostitute. You look like a prostitute.
She's slut-shaming her.
She totally is. But look, Lois is great. Now I'm finally on Lois's side after how many times her brain's been scrambled by the Man of Steel.
Oh, God, yeah. So they do the whole back and forth, in and out of the apartment, never being seen together thing, keeping the girls busy.
When Superman shows up, Lois, this is for an interview, apparently, but Lois is cooking a fancy dinner of scallops and roast duck and... what was it? Mushrooms, a mushroom and champagne sauce. Mm-hmm. And
goes well with duck, right?
Did you get the accompanying cookbook?
So Al, did you make this meal?
Yeah.
Well, on her Instagram, she grammed all those food.
I did look up some recipes.
Oh my God.
But Superman uses his heat vision.
Yeah.
Uses his heat vision
to burn.
I thought to burn. Turns out he cooked it perfectly. But from my recipes, I found out that it typically takes about 2 hours to roast a whole duck.
What? And what is that?
Duck facts.
Woo. Woo.
A lot of... He cooked it perfectly. How do we know that? Did they?
Lois. She goes into. She thinks the duck's on fire, but when Superman comes back, she's pulling the duck out of the kitchen, and she says, "Like I've never cooked a duck so perfectly. This came out just right."
Like, in fact, I've never cooked a duck. Who am I?
Right.
Where the hell are my cigarettes and my cocaine?
Everyth's so weird since I quit doing the devil's powder.
That trip to Niagara Falls was a trip, man.
Right. This goes just fine until Lex broadcasts a message to Superman that only he can hear and apparently see.
On Lex TV.
Yes. Lex tells him that he's going to destroy a building, the Empire State Building.
Yeah, that's one.
So Superman makes his apologies to Lois and flies away. He finds Lex Luthor's penthouse immediately. And
that was the best set that they had in this movie. That Art Deco layer apartment.
Yeah. And Luthor taunts him, chit-chats a bit, and tells him his evil plan is to kill Superman and rearm the world. Says goodbye, and then Nuclear Man attacks.
He introduces him to Lenny and everything. You know.
Yeah. This is my nephew.
He's all smart-mouthed. And
he's like, Lenny, say hi to Supes here.
So Nuclear Man is, at first, he's all anxious to destroy Superman.
Yeah.
But then he just decides he wants to wreak some havoc first. He says he wants to have some fun.
Yes. Yep. Yes. Yeah. A vicious battle ensues between Lex's creation and Superman. They fly into space. Then Nuclear Man destroys the Great Wall of China.
Part of it, anyway.
A chunk. And then Superman rebuilds it with blue eye rays.
Construction vision.
This is another power.
Kryptonian construction vision. Yeah.
Lego eyes.
Yeah. Wow.
Then Nuclear Man causes a volcanic eruption in Italy.
Why is Nuclear Man evil? Like, how was that? The costume was in there, the indestructibility from Superman.
Well, so I mean,
why is he such a raging
radiation?
So
is that it?
Is it possible
It's
that
not
Lex
harmless.
Luthor inserted some of his own DNA?
It seems like because he has Luthor's voice.
Did he spit in it? Oh, yeah, that would be.
So this is something that may have been explained in the 45 minutes that were cut out.
I doubt it.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So Superman plugs up the volcano at the top of another mountain, which cannot be good for the ecosystem of the area.
It just either the mountain will explode or that thing will fly off.
Well, and mountains aren't just a single rock.
They're
right. It's not a tube. It's not one straight tube.
It's more like Adele with a shit ton of Grammys, you know?
Yeah.
It's like Beyonce. You can't do that. It's not how it works.
And there was an endangered species of squirrel living on top of that mountain.
Whoa.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Then,
not anymore.
Back in the USA, while saving the Statue of Liberty, which Nuclear Man
picks up
and throws.
They throw it back and forth.
Nuclear Man scratches Superman, who becomes weak. He becomes infected with radiation sickness.
Is that what it is? I mean, well, that's clear because he starts losing his hair and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But why? Isn't he radioactive? practically. I don't know.
This whole
he can hang out by the sun.
It's like Superman chasing a wet cat. He's like trying to wash his cat, and he's like, "Oh, come back, get back over here!" And then he gets scratched, and he's like, "Oh, fuck!"
It makes him really, really sick. I just don't.
Nuclear Man kicks him out of his cape.
Yeah, he kicks him out of his cape.
Which did you guys notice any of the over-the-shoulder shots? Like that cape, the emblem looks like it was first of all drawn. And then cut around the drawing line, and then just glued on.
Yeah, no, everything is so
Chris Reeves
cheap.
made that. He made that. Chris Reeves,
that's what it looks like. Yeah, exactly. It looks like ones we've made with my niece.
And do you guys notice how
just glued on there?
How much skinnier Chris Reeves was in this?
Yeah.
Like he was really less buff than he was in
that's
even
true.
3.
That's true.
Probably didn't have
I
to,
just don't understand
work
why
out
it had such an effect
budget.
on him. I don't know.
Yeah, it messes him
Were
up.
you the guy with the Krypton list or kryptonite list?
I'm saying that because I don't have an answer.
Yeah, same. It's just weird.
Back at the Daily Planet, David Warfield is given the paper to his daughter Lacey, and to Lois's disgust, the Daily Planet publishes the headline, "Superman Dead?" Lois.
So you think she'll have a framed picture of Louis C.K. in her office since Perry had Cosby?
God. So Lois indicates a desire to quit and seizes Superman's recovered cape, which I guess he got from like Sotheby's or something.
No, it was hanging on the Empire State Building.
Someone sent it in to the paper.
I thought he said it cost like a pretty penny to get. Like he said,
No,
something.
it's symbolically draped over the crown of the Statue of Liberty, and then it shows up.
No, but doesn't he mention paying for it?
Probably.
Yeah,
whoever retrieved it from the Statue of Liberty
sold it.
Yeah.
So Lacey is also upset and reveals to Lois that she cares for Clark. Lois ventures to Clark's apartment where she finds Clark very sick.
Very sick.
And
irradiated.
Yeah. She proclaims her love for Superman and gives him the cape and leaves. Like, she kind of remembers something.
Right. She's like, you might.
It's just there in the back of her mind.
Yeah.
like a Mind song.
Right, exactly.
Always keep hearing this melody. I don't know what this is.
No, it's not that one. At Lex's penthouse, the arms dealers are pleased with the money they've made, but Lex threatens them with Nuclear Man and takes control of the operation. Back at home, slowly succumbing to radiation sickness, Clark staggers to his terrace, where he retrieves the Kryptonian energy module. Finally, he's been doing this for like 2 days and attempts to heal himself.
And that's with the single-use crystal that he has?
Yes.
The single-use crystal.
I'm glad he kept that one separate from all the others.
The individually packaged crystal.
That's what... Yeah.
Shit. God, we just don't have much to say about this shit. The next morning...
We've said it all. That's what,
The next morning...
They just keep daring us.
So the next morning, Nuclear Man sees a picture of Lacey in the paper and just immediately falls in love with her.
Okay, is that what it was? Because... Yeah.
We're not sure.
He's just like, bring me the woman. And Superman knows which woman.
He either decides to woo her or kill her.
Yeah, so, I mean...
It could go either way.
And why
But like just immediately, and Superman knows that's where he's going, like you just said.
Right.
Yeah.
He's all, give me the woman. He's all, no, she's not here.
She's whatever you do, don't go in this elevator.
Oh, yeah, just the Brer Rabbit thing again.
Yeah. Don't you go in that elevator.
She's not in there. Don't look at that. Oh.
So when they have their first confrontation out on the street, Nuclear Man threatens the people, and very vehemently Superman is yelling, "Stop! Don't do it! The people!" And I don't think that was actually scripted. I think that was like candid footage of Chris Reeves talking to the producers, telling them not to release this film. The people!
You're going to kill the children's dreams.
Don't!
So Superman finally agrees to take him to her to prevent anyone else from being hurt. He lures him into an elevator car, trapping him inside, and then depositing it on the far side of the moon, and then just nonchalantly strolling away.
Yep.
To straighten the flag.
Why didn't he throw it into the damn
He
sun?
moved the moon.
Right? Why didn't
Doesn't that have an effect on us?
Why didn't he take it much further than the moon? Why didn't he throw it into the sun? Why didn't he bury it in the moon where it could never get light? Why a million things other than just dropping it and walking away?
Right. Why does he not know that it's not the same dark side all the time?
Yeah. So Yeah, as the sun rises, Nuclear Man breaks free due to a sliver of sunlight through the crack and takes Superman by surprise, you stupid motherfucker.
God.
And he's again forced to defend himself.
Kansas bread.
At the end of the battle, Superman's driven into the moon's surface by Nuclear Man.
Like a nail.
Yes.
Like a nail, it's the worst.
Yeah,
then-
pounds him. Yeah.
Yeah, just
The
pounds
ground
him
was all
in.
foamy looking.
Yeah.
Nuclear Man then returns to Earth. We cut back to the Daily Planet, where Lacey's telling her father they need to tone down the headlines when Nuclear Man bursts into the building and abducts Lacey, carrying her into outer space where she can breathe.
No, it's Nuclear Man has another power. Let's get into Nuclear Man's powers. He emits an atmosphere.
Yep.
Apparently.
He's probably telepathic because she seemed to be very comforted by him.
Right.
Yes.
He got his nails did, and those can kill you.
That's true. He's got those nails. That's another power. I can't think of anything else, but I think that covers her being able to fly in space and her not
He does-
being, like,
he emits an
He does
atmosphere.
he does a
freaked out
killer
by
Gene
him
Hackman
kidnapping
impression.
her.
Yeah,
It sounds just like Gene Hackman. I'd call that
That's
a superpower.
pretty good. Yeah.
Is amazing hair a superpower?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Fabulous hair and nails.
Yeah. He didn't act again, really, but
blonde
he
guys
looked
were
great.
bad guys in the 80s.
Yeah, blonde guys with like
Drago
fabulous
and
hair.
like Johnny from Karate Kid. And,
The dudes from Die Hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Red Dawn. Yeah.
So Superman manages to free himself from the moon's orbit, or moon surface, and then pushes it out of orbit.
Pushes
The moon out of orbit, which
That's totally fine.
which would
I mean,
certainly not affect the Earth in any way negatively.
This unscheduled eclipse.
It would, yeah. Don't even worry about it. It would be totally fine. He does it to create an eclipse,
Yes,
right?
Yeah, casting Earth into an eclipse, nullifying Nuclear Man's powers, leaving Lacey helpless in space, clinging to Nuclear Man.
Because at this point,
shit, what are the words of my mind song?
yeah, she's singing the Mind song.
Tale as old as time, song as old as
All I
rhyme.
need is a finger to touch.
All I need.
Yeah, she's in space, Lacey. Under all.
So Superman
Breathing still.
Yes, breathing.
Very
Totally
much
breathing.
so. She's fine.
Breathing well, having a good time.
Yeah. Superman rescues Lacey, returns her to Earth, and then recovers Nuclear Man and deposits him into the core of a nuclear power plant, destroying him and creating some sort of surge in the electrical grid.
Yeah.
Powers the nation.
He turns him into nuclear fuel.
Yeah, it was a beautiful metaphor.
Yeah,
Thoreau.
so-
It's
I see.
poetry. You clearly
It
didn't
rhymes.
understand.
Right, you're right. Yeah. Like instead of killing us with them,
And
they can power our dreams.
he just sort of walked into the nuclear power plant.
Yeah.
Like, just dropped him into the.
Just dropped him
Dropped
into
him
the
down.
cooling tower.
Yeah,
That
which,
doesn't
like-
go straight down.
Yeah, again, it's not a tube like the volcano.
Yeah. What the fuck was that?
And then not just the cooling tower, but then a hatch that happened to be open.
Directly below the cooling tower.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So
But it powered the nation.
it did. It powered. They built that city on.
He brought peace and prosperity, not just the peace.
Right. Did he?
He brought something. We find out that Perry White secured a loan. Or wait, yeah. So next day, we find out that Perry White secured a loan to buy a controlling interest in the newspaper, making David Warfield a minority shareholder and protecting the paper from any further takeovers.
I have another theory. I think that Superman strong-armed the other stakeholders.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think Perry White just
Wouldn't it be a shame?
he just
messed
walked
your
up to
pretty
Clark
paper up.
in the break room and goes, "Clark, I know you're fucking Superman.
Let's do this thing.
I'm not an idiot, Clark.
You've been working for me for years.
Right.
You disappear at inopportune times."
I don't know what you did. I don't know what you did to Lois, but
He just starts wiping his memory.
Right, real quickly. He's all, Perry, can I go?
we have to kiss.
Couldn't get it out fast enough. We have to kiss, Perry. Jimmy's like, I'll have my memory erased.
Wait, you were saying go on?
I wish he'd erased
I think
my memory.
we have improved this movie so much, you guys.
What were the 45 minutes?
I think we nailed it.
Oh, my God.
In a press conference, Superman declares just partial victory in his campaign, saying,
Right.
there will be peace when the people of the world want it so badly that their governments will have no choice but to give it to them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Wow.
Thanks for all the other stuff.
That's a super fascist sounding statement,
Right?
by the way.
Yeah, so I just don't want to.
Defeatist.
So I'd like to say that I don't yet want peace badly enough, but when I do want peace, my government will have no choice.
but to give it to me.
Yeah.
Like, Superman, I don't know if that's how peace works.
No, I don't think he knows.
The government doesn't give you peace.
Yeah. So Superman recaptures the Freeing Luthers. He places Lenny in Boys Town with old Father O'Shaughnessy.
Right. So more of just like his again unilateral like justice system.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm just gonna show up and put you in.
It's like, you got a bed in a room for this kid, right? I'm just gonna
exactly.
I don't have anywhere else to take him.
He didn't just drop them in the prison. Yeah. Lenny gets. Yeah.
It's
He
like,
goes
I'm
to
22 years old.
a reformatory. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I was introduced by driving into the scene.
Take me to my mother's house. She lives in Newark. You know.
Exactly. I don't want to bunk with 9-year-olds.
He returns Lex to the chain gang, and then flies into space, and that's the end.
His last line is "See you in 20."
Yeah.
And they actually see each other again 20 years later in Superman Returns, 2006.
Oh,
So
Who does?
Lex
Kevin
Luthor
Spacey.
and
Oh,
yeah, that's actually still the Donnerverse.
right.
yeah. It is.
But I mean, it's not really 20 years in their universe, but it's 20 years for us.
Right,
It's
right.
just
Gotcha.
So, yeah, that was a movie. Anyone have anything to say about this?
Boo. I have boo to say. Boo this movie. It's a witch. Burn it.
I think this is why everybody hates Superman or hated Superman for a while. There was a huge, at least amongst people that I've talked to, my generation, friends of mine, they disliked Superman. And this may have contributed.
Yeah,
Clearly the
this
quest
could
for
have
peace.
been.
Absolutely.
Because it's terrible.
It's really bad.
Doesn't make Superman look good. It's not fun or interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Superman looks like a dick.
I had never
More so than-
seen this movie until last night.
Wild.
And yeah, I don't know. When I was younger, I was always satisfied with the first three.
I watched the first three numerous times as a child.
Yeah, I saw this one quite a few times as a child.
Yeah,
on HBO.
I remember the beginning as a little kid. That's the main thing.
I think I've seen this I think I saw it when it came out on VHS, probably 1988, once. And that was it, period.
This is a terrible movie.
Yeah, so
it's for the best that we haven't seen it a lot.
Yeah. So let's let's rank this thing.
Yeah. I don't think I have anything more to say about it. It stinks.
Is it worse than Toxic Avenger? Because that's at our bottom right now.
I could make an argument for it being worse than Toxic Avenger.
I know.
I think
See,
it's a flat out worse movie than Toxic Avenger, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Done. Boom. We need a
All right.
stamp.
There we go. Going right at the bottom of the list. Superman for the only Superman with a subtitle, by the way, Quest for Peace.
Oh, right, which he never achieves. Let's
and-
all remember that.
He fails in his quest.
It was all about the quest. Yeah.
He launched the nuclear weapons at the end of like Act 1.
Right. And it wasn't even all of them, as
Yeah.
we know now. Yeah. So
yeah.
the quest for a really good effort.
Yeah, the quest for he did some stuff.
He did some
So,
stuff.
Yeah, and
At the end of the day.
so yeah, that's it. That's where we are right now. Superman 4: The Quest for Peace is the worst movie we have yet watched for this podcast.
You'll never get an apology from anybody who made this movie. But I'm sorry.
I'm going to be curious to see if it ever, if anything ever goes below it.
I think Christopher Reeve was sorry.
Was
Yeah.
Yeah. He expressed regret. For this film.
Yeah.
I'm
At some
sorry.
point.
I hope
so
John
sorry.
Cryer. Sorry.
Watch many of these movies that we watch, but maybe avoid this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Do not watch this movie. Do not watch
don't.
this movie.
There's no violence or gore or.
Next week, we're going to return to Swamp Thing. The return of Swamp Thing.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I am
love the
too.
first
But
one.
we're just staying in such little insular worlds.
It's gonna. So yeah, next week we got Return to Swamp Thing, and then after that, the one we've been waiting for, the big bad boy, Batman, 1989.
That's gonna be good.
After that, it's kind of a whole new
My
world.
bat nipples are hard.
We've got a whole bunch of new stuff coming after that, all, with a couple more toxies thrown in.
That's right.
But yeah, so next week, Return of Swamp Thing. So for everyone here this week, I am Throw Smiley, and all men like me, I'm very, very rich. I'm joined with...
I'm Josh Cece, and I also go by Sergeant York.
I'm Brian Lesh, and I'm going to go trim my nails.
I'm Alaric Weber, and I am still the safest and most reliable means of public transportation.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye. Harmless Phosphorescence was brought to you by executive producer Atticus Burkett, producers Michael Beckwith, Jojo Birchtree, Hedda Paulson, Kirsten Reed and Alyssa Dent, and Katie and Finn Thorpe. Make sure to rate and review us on iTunes. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. Harmless Phosphorescence is a part of the Harmless Entertainment Network. Become a patron at patreon.com/harmlessentertainment. Thank you for listening.